What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Ichi's MMA Hour. Two goofball fans, worst far on the fastest growing sport in the world. I am one of said Kai Schwartz. I am joined here by my good friend, Mendy. What's going on, my dude?
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
In case you couldn't tell, I'm a little bit sick right now. There may be a little bit of coughing, maybe hoarseness. I'll try to cough away from my mic. Instead of normal adulting is hard mug that I carry, my dad ironically got for me. I usually carry a little bit of an alcoholic beverage. Today I got good old ginger tea. That should help. Voice get through this motherfucker. And of course, my co-host here to help guide us through the big stories of today.
I'll get my voice ready for this one today.
So I think the first thing is that the big announcement is that Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the goats of mixed martial arts, former UFC lightweight champion, is returning to combat sports in the form of a grappling tournament, ADCC.
He's gonna be getting into something different.
No striking for him. Much easier for him. I would say. Definitely his cup of tea. Just like that ginger when you're drinking now. And it's definitely more in his lane.
Of course, he's Sambo world champion.
If I'm not mistaken, he's of course been doing this all his life. So for him, I think it's a good move. He still wants to be competitive. He still has that competitive in him. But I don't think he wants to get striked, kicked in the head, punched in the head, whatever it is. And I just feel bad whoever goes up with him, who his first opponent is. I really feel bad. I can see them losing 100%. So. Yeah, I just want to put that out there. Sorry for your first your loss. Whoever the guy that's gonna fight is probably gonna be a loss.
Apparently, he is going to be competing in the 77 kilograms division. Of course, because I'm American, I have no idea what that means.
That's 170. If I'm not mistaken, that's 170.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I've seen him compete. He's a little chunky.
He's massive. He's definitely 200. Yeah.
Coach Khabib definitely has cheat days. That's for sure.
100%. Coach Khabib deserves cheat days.
You asked me.
Of course. I would never argue otherwise. But I mean, it's great that he's found a way to stay active that doesn't risk compromising his promise to his mother, and then that he wouldn't fight after his father passed away, and then two, that he doesn't risk his perfect record in mixed martial arts.
And his coaching as well. It's always good to see your coach compete. It does help. In a sense, knowing that your coach also has to compete and also has to train. Of course, his life is training. Like, this guy doesn't do anything. He has a family and he trains. There's nothing in between. There's not really anything there. So it's in his blood. It's what he does. So I'm happy for him. Honestly, I would say I'm happy for him. I'm happy that this is what it's come to. I have no problem with this. 100% Khabib. We love you. As fans, we want to see you compete. So if this is how you want to do it, more power to you, brother.
Yeah, honestly. I can't wait. I mean, normally, I don't do too much watching grappling. I've seen a few grappling events. It's very interesting to see when they start on the ground and then they just maneuver. Obviously, whoever's going against me, they might as well just throw it all right now. It's probably a big paycheck, I would imagine.
I would imagine it's a big paycheck and it's a big honor on top of that. You know what I mean? It's a big honor to fight Khabib. No one's trying to beat him, but it is good competition.
definition. Your level. Everyone knows this. Your level gets better
every time you lose. Why? Because you learn.
Losing is not a bad thing
in martial arts.
Even in life too.
I mean, there's so many lessons you can take from martial arts, but I'm saying in
life. You know, losing is a good thing. That's where you learn. If you don't lose, you don't fail, you'll never learn. So it's good that the guy that's going to go up against him is going to learn so much. And then Khabib's such a nice guy. You can even come up to him after and be like, how did you do that? What is the technique that you used? What happened there? He could break it down for you. So you're going to learn.
Brother, I'll take you to gym. Brother,
brother, me and Corby help you out. Come. We help you. You want to learn wrestling? Come. We help you wrestling. No worries. Come to AKA. Come.
You know what? I actually put up a poll this week. I mean, it's still going because I put it too long. I forgot. You know, I miscalculated the days. It's still going right now, so I got 3 more days left. But I put, what is the superior grappling style? Because one of the things we talked about last week is, you know, these sort of we're going to see Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns this weekend, and that's I thought it was Sambo, but actually Khamzat is more of a Roman Greco wrestler. Versus.
I'm not sure if he won a freestyling wrestling gold medal.
Yeah, no,
he's freestyle wrestling, right?
But that's what isn't. I'm pretty sure that they're like the same thing.
Yeah, possibly. Honestly,
so I put, what is the superior grappling style? I put BJJ, Greco-Roman wrestling, Russian Sambo, and Judo. And as of right now, BJJ is ahead. It's been going back and forth. I'm telling you, it's been going all over the place. Right now, I got BJJ at 36%, Judo at 30%, Greco-Roman wrestling at 22%, and Russian Sambo at 12%, which is honestly surprising to me because I thought that Sambo, considering the records of all of these Sambo artists that we see in mixed martial arts, I assumed that was going to be at the top. But people
might not know.
The BJJ. I think it's just because most people either do BJJ or Judo. They're conditioned to one of those two.
I agree. I just don't think people understand Sambo wrestling to that level. I mean, they're just not as involved in the sport, I guess, to know that knowledge. But if you're a Sambo champion, you are a motherfucker. You are a motherfucker. I'm going to repeat that because Sambo is very intense. Very intense. It's a lot of flipping. It's a lot of tripping. You know what I mean? It's a lot of that type of stuff. It's a lot of takedowns. So it's very superior, I would say. But yeah, they're all very close. I do think, though, at the end of the day, I do think that if you were to ask me that question right now, my answer would definitely still be BJJ. Reason for that is because you learn how to be in a shit position, which is the bottom position, and still be able to win from the bottom position.
Yeah.
Right.
Those chokes are crazy. I mean, those chokes are crazy. I mean, what was it? Last week we saw Alexa Grasso versus Joanne Wood, and Alexa Grasso got that rear naked choke from the bottom. So
just an example, just an example of what you can do. The arm bars from the bottom, the triangle chokes, the fucking almost everything that's really, really, deadly, so to say, or to end a fight is from the bottom in jiu-jitsu. So if you have a good guard, I mean, no one can fuck with you. No one can fuck with you. So I still think BJJ is something that you need, and that's probably what it is. I would say BJJ is definitely my top for sure. But yeah, let's go into some crazy matchups. We want to do a matchup type podcast today. We're going to do some fantasy matchups for you guys. Let's get into some crazy ones. So I want to look here. I want to start with the welterweight division. Reason for that is because we have a massive fight this weekend. We got Gilbert Burns, Khamzat Chimaev. Of course, we're going to be there, so we're going to give you some insight. Look out for our Instagram live. Check out our Instagram. We're going to be posting some videos, some pictures, so stay tuned for that. We might go live. Who knows?
I know. We know because we're gonna.
Trying to make it a little bit exciting, okay? And so yeah, I want to see here. Okay. For example, Hamzat is gonna fight Burns. If Burns wins, okay, where does Burns go from there? Now, of course, Leon's fighting for the title. Colby's looking for a Dustin Poirier fight. That leaves us with just a couple of guys. I mean, does Vincente Luque have a fight? Or
Yeah,
no?
he's fighting Bilal Muhammad.
He's fighting Bilal Muhammad. Okay, I knew someone was fighting Bilal. I wasn't sure if it was him or somebody else.
I'm very excited for that match.
Yeah, so of course, me too. That's going to be fucking crazy. Now, Gilbert Burns just beat Thompson, right? So he's not going to fight Thompson again. I mean, okay, business aspect doesn't make sense to do Burns Colby. But rankings aspects, if he beats Hamzat, it does make sense to do Gilbert Colby. Do I think the UFC is going to do it?
No, I disagree. I disagree.
I don't think
I don't think it's worth it for Gilbert Burns to fight Colby. I think that this match, the way that this match is set up, if Gilbert Burns beats Hamzat, then he should probably get another shot against Kamaru. Or alternatively, you put him against the winner of Luque versus Muhammad as a title eliminator fight. No, you don't need an interim title eliminator fight because Kamaru's gonna fight Leon Edwards. Now Colby Covington, there's no reason to put him in any sort of title picture anytime soon, and especially because he's not even calling out people in his division. Honestly, low key, and it may just be because I'm a bit petty. I agree with Khabib's recommendation that all of these welterweight fighters should boycott Colby until he learns to have some fucking manners. And it's like, and he's not even calling out people in his division. He's calling out like Dustin Poirier. He's just
what he wants. Yeah. So what he's looking for now is not
big money grudge matches.
Yeah, he wants big money grudge matches. I mean, well, fuck it. I mean, on his end, he deserves it. He fucking deserves one of those fights. Why does he deserve one of those fights? He beats everybody. No one fucking beats him. Why not go for the money now? He knows he can't go for the title. He just lost twice.
Well, the problem
can't get a title shot.
The problem is that his contract is reportedly shit, though. So it's like he's, like all these grudge matches that he's trying to put himself in, he makes less money than the person he's fighting, even if he wins.
So no, different. So if he fights someone that's not a champion, Dustin Poirier, it's going to be a pay-per-view. Then they both get pay-per-view points because nobody's a champion.
Colby's contract does not include pay-per-view points. That was one of the things that was reported about Jorge.
I'm almost sure that if the person that he fights is not a champion, then they both get pay-per-view points. Somebody has to get pay-per-view points.
Well, then why did Colby not get pay-per-view points against his fight with Jorge? According to Alvaro Burns.
So I think it's because he never negotiated. He didn't give a fuck about it. But if he fights Dustin Poirier, he might negotiate it. He might it's like, I won't sign it unless you guys give me pay-per-view points, and they will, because it's a big enough fight for them, and no one's a champion, so they don't give a fuck. But I might be wrong on how the contract works, so don't hold my word to it. But I can definitely see why he wants big money fights. He wants highlights, right? He wants highlights on his record. He wants wins on his record. And if he beats these guys, even if it's Dustin Poirier at 170, I think he'll still. I think it's worth it for him. Better him to be active and fighting top level guys, top 10 guys, even if they're not naturally 170. Then do nothing and sit on the sideline and wait for his division to figure it out. I think that's way worse for him.
I mean, Dustin's not going to take the fight though. Because Dustin doesn't want the drama attached to it.
Yeah, Dustin wants Nate Diaz. For some weird reason.
He just thinks it's an interesting fight. The same reason Nate Diaz wants to fight Dustin. They want to fight. They both want to fight each other. It's just
for sure.
The UFC is holding Nate up because they want him to wait. He has one fight in his contract. They want him to wait until Conor comes back, which is what they've been doing. Trilogy. They've been doing something really fucked up to Nate Diaz, which is that so they are obligated to offer their fighters 3 fights a year. However, if the fighter turns down a fight offered to them, they can extend their contract by 6 months. So what the UFC has been doing is they've been offering Nate Diaz bullshit fights that they know he never take. Like they offered for him to fight Khamzat, and of course he said no to that because he's a sane person. He's a sane person. So they extended his contract by 6 months. That's why Nate Diaz tweeted out last week that he wants to be released. He's like, bro, if you don't set him with a fight, I want to be released. Like I'm fucking done. You know, fighters complain about their pay. I couldn't pay enough to get out of this contract. You know, because all he wants is to fight Dustin Poirier, and all Dustin Poirier wants is to fight Nate Diaz. But all Dana wants is the money, the shmoney, because Dana White, as much as I love Uncle Dana, you know,
we love the UFC, but
he's real life. He is real life Mr. Krabs. He is such a real life version of Mr. Krabs. Like, let's be real here, and he is more than welcome to make decisions. He'll always make decisions that gear towards bottom line, no matter what. You know.
Yeah, and it's sad to see that the biggest and best promotion, you know, that we all love, it doesn't have the best contracts and doesn't give the fighters. They give the fighters freedom to say whatever they want, but when it comes to fights, you know, they fucking own everything. So there's not really much they can do there, which is unfortunate. But you know, you got to give some to take some, I guess, in a sense. You know,
I mean, if you're locking one of your biggest celebrities, you know, one of your highest profile fighters into a situation where he can't get the fights that he wants, he can't go out on his own terms, and he has to wait for Conor to regrow a fucking shin bone, like, you know, that doesn't look great for people that want to come in.
Yeah, and honestly, Kai, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. The UFC is the biggest combat sports league in the world, and they always will be. I don't see anyone coming even close to them. So they don't give a fuck. There's always going to be another fighter. There's always going to be another guy coming up. They don't care. So unfortunately, there's nothing that we could do about that.
In terms of the welterweight division, I think the most interesting fight to watch for is Luque versus Muhammad, because I think the winner should fight Gilbert Burns, and I think the loser should fight Sean Brady. Because Sean Brady was tweeting out that he was looking for a fight. I actually commented under his post. I'm like, yo, Dana, set this up. Give Sean the loser of Luque Muhammad, and he liked the post. Brady liked the post, so he's down. Yeah.
Your post?
Yeah. Brady liked the post.
Wow.
So he's down for that, which is great.
That's dope.
I would love to see that, especially if it's because I do prefer Luque to win that fight against Muhammad for multiple reasons. But on top of this, another reason is I think that Sean Brady versus Bilal Muhammad is a very interesting fight, because you have this up and comer, you know, Sean Brady, undefeated, and he has he looks like he has so many tricks in his book, and he did just beat a high level grappler in Michael Chiesa, but now he's on to a bigger challenge, because Bilal Muhammad's wrestling is a puzzle that very few are able to solve, and I'd love to see whether Sean Brady in his first rise to the top, if he's able to overcome something like that. I'd be very interested to watch that fight.
I think that Sean Brady passes the test. Reason I say that, I do have reasoning behind it. It's because he is, I think he's an All-American wrestler, if I'm not mistaken. You know, like D1 wrestling type shit. So his whole life he's been wrestling. I don't think Bilal Muhammad is a D1 wrestler or even close to that type of shit. Of course, Bilal Muhammad's in insane shape. I mean, everyone is at this point. But I mean, look at Sean Brady. He's a fucking animal. Like, he's way strong. Like, he looks way stronger and way more fit than Bilal Muhammad. Reason for that is just because of that wrestling intensity, that wrestling repetitiveness, that wrestling just pedigree. You know, it's next level, and I think Sean Brady passes the test. If he does go up against Bilal Muhammad, I think he'll beat him. He'll just wrestle the fuck out of him and ground and pound or something.
Oh, this is really funny. I was curious. I looked it up. They are the same height and have the same reach.
Sean Brady and Bilal?
Yeah. That's so funny. They have the exact same height and reach. So that means it really all comes down to skill level.
Yeah, it really is skill. I think Sean Brady passes the test. I mean, he's undefeated for a reason. Bilal Muhammad's an animal, sure. Nothing to deny there. But I think that Sean Brady gets a chance. He beats him for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
And another fight in the welterweight division that I very much want to see, it hasn't been talked about a lot because one of the things that people have been talking about a lot recently is like what does Jorge do next after he lost to Colby? And I
Yeah, great
mentioned
question.
that I want to see him fight Michael Chiesa because if Jorge's no longer a title contender and he's just looking for big money, the UFC is just looking to give him big money fights, then Michael Chiesa is the perfect option because Michael Chiesa is a very popular fighter who has also basically been knocked out of top level contention. They did fight like 9 years ago or whatever, and Jorge won. And I'd love to see a rematch. That'd be cool. So I think that's another really good welterweight matchup.
I just don't see the UFC not giving Jorge a massive pay-per-view fight. He is the second highest paid athlete on the roster under Israel Adesanya. I mean, sorry, the third. It'd be Connor, Israel, him. So, and he has like 4 more fights in the kind. He's like a 5-fight contract, 6-fight contract, something like that. He just fought one of it, so he has like 5 left. I don't see Michael Chiesa because his career until now was of course trying to get to the title. Okay, he got to the title. Took him fucking 40 something 50 fights, whatever the fuck it was, but he got to the fucking title. Okay. He lost. Bad. On the second time, right? First time he did pretty good, honestly. I give him props for 10 days notice, 7 days notice, whatever the fuck that was. But second time, full camp, everything gets knocked the fuck out. So title contention is not in the thing for him. It's not in the books. Now, as big as a star Michael Chiesa is, I don't see the UFC giving him giving Jorge him because he's not a massive pay-per-view headlining fight. It's just not. It's just not. And Jorge needs big pay-per-view massive fights. That's all he does. He's the main event. He's not going to be co-main event. He gets pay-per-view points. It's got to be a pay-per-view. So we got to think You got to think outside the box because he's not going to do a random third, fourth, fifth fight on a card. That's not going to happen to Jorge. Jorge is a pay-per-view main event card fighter, and he's not going to get anything less than that. He's not.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. I don't think that Jorge could sell a pay-per-view main event at this point in his career. Not with the amount of losses that he's had. Not with
No,
just the way his career has gone lately.
you're crazy.
I do not think that Jorge could strongly. I mean, he could barely sell this pay-per-view with Colby, and it was billed as the grudge match of the century. How many pay-per-views did it do? It was probably the worst-selling card of the year. I mean,
Well, before you say that, look it up. Before you say that, look it up. Before you say that, look it up. Before you say that, look it up because I guarantee you're wrong there, and not even that. Let me explain to you something. When you're the third highest paid fighter on the roster, okay, they're not giving you some random kind of famous dude. It's a business at the end of the day. They're trying to get him like Connor. That's what they want to give him. They want to give him massive pay-per-view fights. Okay? He's going to wait out for a little bit. I think he's going to be out for a long fucking time. I don't think we see him anytime soon. I don't think we see him International Fight Week. I think we see him at the end of the year. Like a November, December type card. That's when I think we see Jorge next. And I don't think I see him anywhere. I don't even know who he can fight because none of these guys are big pay-per-view fights. I think the only next big fight, I think Leon Edwards loses to Kamaru, and then he fights Leon. That's what I think is going to happen. Because that's a fight that they have history. They can build that fight up easily, right? They have footage of the 3-piece in Minnesota. They have all the shit talking back and forth. I think Leon Edwards is his next fight.
No, because Usman and Leon aren't going to fight again for a while. They're not going to have their fight for a while because of Usman's hand injury.
I think the loser of the fight, because I think Leon's losing. The loser of that fight fights Jorge. I think that's what it's going to be.
I don't believe that Jorge is a main event anymore on a pay-per-view because I think
that's insane.
Let me explain using an analogy from another sport. So I used to be big into baseball. In 2000, I think 13 it was or something like that. The Miami Marlins gave John Carlos Stanton the largest contract in MLB history. It was like $329 million over 9 years. Now, John Carlos Stanton at the time had a very good record, and it looked like it was a risky buy. But what happened is that right after that contract was made, Stanton got hit in the face with a wild pitch and was out for months, and he never really recovered from that. And it so even though had this massive contract, he was being overpaid, and he was given this contract at a time when they thought that he was going to be big money, and then it turned out that due to a series of unfortunate events, he ended up not being big money. I think Jorge's the same thing. I think that when the UFC gave Jorge this contract, they expected him to beat Colby. I think that losing to Colby and then getting arrested for what he did on the streets, allegedly, I think that this has hurt his clout more than we're willing to admit. I don't think that Jorge could headline a pay-per-view. I think he could be co-main, maybe third match. So I could see a co-main or a third match on a pay-per-view fight of Jorge Masvidal versus Michael Chiesa.
Okay, so I'm gonna counter a couple things that you said there. One, at the end of the day, unfortunately, UFC doesn't give a fuck about what happens outside the octagon. As long as he's not in jail and he's a free man, he can fight.
It matters if it affects clout. It matters if it affects clout and popularity.
It doesn't. Okay, so let me give you a great example then. Conor McGregor goes to jail, gets bailed out. 10 seconds later, obviously, it's not a problem for him to get bailed out. They still give him massive fights right after that. He got arrested in New York for throwing a fucking dolly at a bus and injuring like 10 people. Okay, and he still fought Khabib after that.
Because Conor was still a title contender. Conor was still a title contender. Conor was still at the height of his career.
Doesn't matter. My point is the UFC, unfortunately, doesn't give a fuck about what happens outside the octagon as long as they legally can fight. And the association, the what's it, sports association, what's it called? Athletic Commission. As long as the Athletic Commission lets him fight, they're gonna fight. It's a contract. He has to fight out his fights. Okay.
Now, when you give a guy... Speaking of athletic commissions, did you see the video of Jorge trying to get Gamebred FC into the Nevada Athletic Commission and just unpromptly mentioning that he used to fight in backyards? And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Did you see that?
I did not see that at all. But I want to go back to this before we go into that. You'll show us the video in a minute. But before we go into that, there's something called recency bias, right? And I think it's a huge thing in our sport that's really fucked up. And the reason for that is because the last loss in our mind means that the guy's over. That's what recency bias pretty much is. I'm sure there's other ways to define it, but I'm saying, in the simplest sense of the term, recency bias is one of the worst things in our sport. Why? Because we give up on a fighter as soon as they lose. That's it. They lost, they're washed out. We don't give them any other chances. So I don't like that. I don't agree with that. I think, yes, he lost to the number one guy in the fucking world. What do you expect? He's number one guy in the fucking division. He beat every single person he's ever fought besides for Kamaru Usman, who's the number one pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. So he lost to the number one pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Then he lost to the guy right under him. You think that he's washed up because he lost to the two best guys in the division?
I didn't say Jorge was washed. I said a combination of his losses to Usman and Colby combined with, look, like you said last week, Jorge Masvidal was one of your favorite fighters. Last week you called him a bitch. Like,
but that's his actions outside of the octagon. But that sells my point. That's personal.
But that makes my point. Fans have now, to an extent, turned on Jorge, and they don't like him as much as they did a few weeks ago. Which means that his ability to sell pay-per-views has been diminished by his own behavior. It's not just about the losses; it's the losses combined with his age, combined with his career, and combined with his actions outside of the cage. These things have led to reduced popularity that I believe will make it more difficult for him to sell pay-per-views in the future. Jorge's still one of my favorite fighters. I don't think he's washed. I think you put him against someone like Michael Chiesa, someone like Stephen Thompson, someone like Geoff Neal. I think he does very well. But I think that Jorge, through his own actions, has hurt his brand in a way that will hurt
I
the
agree.
UFC's bottom line. And I do not
I'm
believe
not
the UFC will ever put him to headline a pay-per-view again because of the combination of all these things.
okay. That's okay. I understand what you're
Because it's
saying,
about
and I
conduct.
agree with it. I agree with
It's not
it.
about conduct, it's about popularity.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that fact. But at the end of the day, it's a business, right? And they signed a contract with him. UFC is getting the worst end of the contract right now, and the reason for that is because Jorge fucked himself over. That's the truth. Jorge is getting the best out of this because he still gets paid what he gets paid because the next 5 fights are the next 5 fights. Is that
You can
same
get
paycheck?
pay-per-view points without being a headliner. You can get pay-per-view points without being a headliner.
I understand. But it doesn't make sense to pay the third highest guy in the whole fucking roster to not put him on the main card. It hurts them even more. It makes no sense business-wise. And it's a business at the end of the day. I agree with everything you said, but that's all personal brand stuff. That's not business. At the end of the day, they're paying him. They got fucked over because of his actions, technically. You understand what I'm saying? They got fucked over. Jorge got the best part of this deal. He got paid more than Colby, right? To lose. Didn't really take damage. Then got his revenge or whatever you want to call it, right? In the streets. Got arrested, has a court date. We'll see what the fuck happens there. He might not even be able to fight because he might just be in jail. But I just don't think that it makes sense business wise to have the third highest paid guy on the roster to fucking put him as like a second or third fight. It just doesn't make sense for their own business.
What
They
if it's
might as
second
well
to like
just
a
put him
title
there.
fight? What if it's second to like a title fight? Most pay-per-views have title
Maybe,
fights in them now.
maybe. But then they have to give him pay-per-view points for that.
It's fine,
This makes
but that's
sense.
what I mean.
This makes sense. They
We'll
could take
see.
it away from the champion. The champion
We'll
would get pissed
see.
about that.
We'll
You know
see.
what I'm
I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, we'll see. You have points, I have points, but let's
saying?
move
Yeah.
on to some of these other divisions because we have
Sure.
a
Let's
lot more
go.
to cover. But side
Go.
note, before we do that, guys, I'm aware that the video stream right now is not so great because we set the FPS higher than it probably should have been. So just this week, why don't you treat it like an audio only podcast? Okay, do us a favor. Uh, but all right, so let's get in. Let's go into because I wanted to do this in order, but we started with welterweight. Let's start with
Sure.
women's strawweight and move our way up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
as we know, Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza are fighting at UFC 274 for the title on the line. I personally think Rose is going to win, but I'm also biased as fuck because Rose is my favorite female fighter. So what the fuck do I know? I think Carla's grappling is amazing, but I do think that Rose, she just keeps gaining more experience and learning more. And all the people that have asked who's going to win this fight, all the professional fighters, they think it's going to be Rose. They asked Joanna, they asked Marina, they asked a lot of high profile female fighters, and they
Yep.
all think it's going to be Rose.
Rose is savage, bro. Rose is a fucking
Right.
savage. She's the best. She's the best.
Yeah. Which brings me to I think the fight that we all want to see the most in this division is the rematch between Joanna and Zhang Weili, which
Oh
is
my
something
god.
it's in the
The best.
pipeline. Uh, I can't wait for that. That's in the pipeline. We're gonna get that rematch, and like I said, uh, after UFC 272, I think that the winner of that fight should be in a title eliminator bout with Marina Rodriguez. Because
Interesting.
I don't think Marina Rodriguez did enough against Yan Xiaonan to automatically guarantee her a title spot after this fight with Rose and Carla.
Mm-hmm.
So
Why don't I see Joanna in the top 10 or 15? Sorry.
it's probably because I don't. That's weird. Maybe it's because she hasn't fought in a while.
She's
That
definitely
is,
top 15.
yeah, that is weird. I don't know. That's fucking weird. I'm looking at this too, and her name's not
I was
on
trying to
here.
like. I was like, yeah. Where the fuck is Joanna? Is she not?
Uh,
She is strawweight, right? I'm not crazy.
no, she is. I don't know why it's not here.
Yeah, she
That's
fought
so
Zhang
weird.
Weili.
All right, let's move to women's flyweight. Of course, we have Valentina Shevchenko and Talia Santos also title shot May time, UFC 275 in Singapore. Uh, I mean, I'd be stupid to say that I don't think Valentina's going to win. I'm 99% sure. If there's any champion that, or really any fighter in the UFC that I can look at and be like, yeah, that person's going to win, it's Valentina. Like, she's
and John Jones. And John
well,
Jones.
we'll see what if John Jones moves to heavyweight. Anything's game. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen in that. Put John Jones against like Stipe or Francis or Cyril Gane. I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Just kidding, but yeah, I mean, someone that's undefeated is what I mean.
But I think we both agree that Valentina's gonna win. We also have Caitlin
Chukagian. She's fucking good.
Versus who is she fighting? Because she's also fighting soon. Almost like everyone in the flyweight top 5 is fighting soon. She's fighting Amanda Ribas. That means Amanda Ribas is moving to flyweight on May 14th. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go with Chukagian on that one. I mean, Amanda Ribas moving up a division, as you know, it's close, but I lean towards Chukagian. What about you?
Yeah, I like how Chukagian fights. I like how she's a long fighter, right? She has that reach. She's tall. She uses her reach a lot. I like her distance control. Yeah, I like her as a fighter in general. Honestly, she's good, great striking too. Yeah, I'm definitely impressed. Last fight I saw her, I was very impressed.
I'd be very excited to see, because as we know, Manon Fiort beat who the fuck did she beat last week? Oh god, Jennifer Maia. She beat Jennifer Maia last week. And she called out Chukagian. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that should be. I'm very excited for that. That's probably the fight in that division that I'd be most excited to see, because I really want to see how Fiort does in the high levels of this division. I think that she has the best shot at beating Valentina, if such a shot exists.
For sure, I agree. Wow, Alexa Grasso looked fucking good against Joanna Wood, though. I will say that.
Yeah, who would you want Alexa Grasso to fight next?
I mean, should she jump up to Lauren Murphy? I mean, have they fought? I don't know.
Lauren Murphy is fighting Miesha Tate in
she's fighting Miesha Tate.
Like
okay,
next month.
Okay, so I see that she already fought Macy Barber. She already fought Ji Young Kim. Right. I mean, I want her to fight up. She's been on a 3-fight win streak. I want her to fight up.
Jessica Andrade.
I was gonna say, you want to throw her to Jessica Andrade? You want to throw her to the fucking Wolves? I guess, bro. You're in the top 5 now, baby.
You got to
eventually throw her to the fucking Wolves, huh? Throw her to the Wolves, baby.
I mean, Andrade is fighting Amanda Lemos on the 23rd of April. Fuck. That means that Jessica Andrade is moving back down to strawweight.
Oh, she is?
Yeah. She's fighting Amanda Lemos. Yeah, she's moving back down to 115.
Really? She's big. She's going to make 115?
I mean, she did it before. She beat Rose. She wasn't she the one that took the belt from Rose Namajunas?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Damn, bro. Yeah. She's a beast.
I mean, this is a wild choice, but how about Alexa Grasso versus Casey O'Neill? Because Casey is I think one of, except for Fiort.
And she's undefeated.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. She's undefeated. I think she might be the only undefeated person in the division. Wait, is Fiort undefeated? No, yeah. So Casey O'Neill is the only undefeated person in the women's flyweight. So I think that would be a good fight.
Yeah, Alexa Grasso versus she doesn't have to fight up. She doesn't have to fight up. She can fight down. Yeah, it's not that.
Well, it's like a Gilbert Burns Kamzat thing. It's like you're fighting down, but you're fighting someone who is such a high prospect that if you beat them, you look really good.
100%. 100%. I agree. 100%. It's a 3-fight win streak. Holy shit.
Yeah. So let's go up to women's bantamweight right now. This is honestly my least favorite division. There's just not a lot of good shit here. Holly Holm still wants to fight, which is crazy to me. She
blows my fucking mind.
The other day, she just turned 40 and she's like, I'm gonna keep going until the wheels come off. Which is like, all right, lady, sure, why not?
I don't know if I agree with that, but not my life, so not my choice.
I mean, The only person in this division that really excites me is Ketlin Vieira. She had a very solid win over Misha Tate a few months ago. And I would be interested to see her fight Irene Aldana. She just pulled out of the fight against Aspen Ladd for 273, and when she's ready to fight again, I think Irene Aldana versus Ketlin Vieira would be a good fight. It's really the only fight that I'm interested in seeing in this division, besides for the Pena Nunes rematch.
That's what I was gonna say. You gotta watch the fucking Pena Nunes rematch. That's gonna be fucking insane.
Yeah, and after a whole season of The Ultimate Fighter too. So
yeah, they just wrapped up. But did they wrap up a few weeks
ago? Yeah. We're gonna.
Do you know who the what the weight classes are for the?
Yeah, it's women's flyweight and men's either heavyweight or light heavyweight.
Whoa, very interesting.
I think it's women's flyweight and men's heavyweight.
You're just gonna see a fuckload. You're just gonna see a fuckload of knockouts on all the fights.
Are they gonna put them in the same? Are they gonna put them in the same house? Or are you just gonna see a bunch of
no. The girls are in the girls' house, and then the guys are in the guys' house separate.
God, that could be its own fucking reality show. God, just that alone. Put them all in the same house. What the fuck?
No. They're definitely going to be in separate houses,
but they're going to be training together. Type of reality show.
Yeah, very different. Definitely going to be training together and fighting together. And if it's a bunch of heavyweights fighting, bro, that's awesome. We're going to see a shitload of knockouts on the next Ultimate Fighter.
And I'm also the heavyweight division could always use more talent. Although it is at the top levels, it's really fucking good right now.
Fucking stacked as we speak, but who knows what happens there.
All right, let's head over to some men's fighting. All right, let's talk about the flyweight division. I cannot believe this division almost got scrapped. Every time people tell me that Dana thought about getting rid of this division, it shocks me.
Shocks me.
But I mean, I want to see. I can't really think of like good matchups for this division, like so much besides for like obviously Kai Kara France taking on the winner of Figueiredo Moreno 4. But I do really want to see Tim Elliott fight again. So who do you think Tim Elliott should be matched up against?
It's a great question. I was just going to say that. Tim Elliott comes off of a win of Tagir, takes a 0, right? So that's fucking crazy. Let's see who we got here. Brandon Royval would be a crazy fight. Didn't he just win? Brandon Royval, I think. Yeah, he just beat Buntorian, and Buntorian's a fucking savage split decision. Wasn't that? That was a crazy fight. Did we watch that fight?
Of course, dude. We've watched. I've watched every fight since fucking Usman versus
I try to watch every fight.
I have not missed a single card. I have not missed a single card since Usman versus Masvidal 1.
I think Tim Elliott. It might be bumping up a little bit too quick, but Tim Elliott, Brandon Royval would be crazy because they're both bangers. They both just like to punch like a motherfucker. So that would be cool. Yeah, I mean the other guys are David Dvorak is a fucking scary dude, bro. It's a scary dude. He did lose by unanimous decision, but just now in the last fight card, but I think he fought his ass off. So I don't know. You can give him someone like that. There's a lot of fights here, bro. A lot of fights here. But I just want Figueiredo and Moreno to get their shit together. That's all I really care about at the end of the day in that division. Just get that shit sorted.
Yeah. So Figueiredo needs to stop letting Henry Cejudo dictate his social media behavior. It's like, dude, you can't come out and call Kai Kara France a quote-unquote dirty Kiwi, and then 2 weeks later say you don't want to fight Moreno because one of his coaches is racist. Like, shut the fuck up. Just get in the fucking cage. Like, enough with this shit.
Enough with this shit, bro. Come on. We love you, Cejudo, but shut the fuck up.
Yeah. All right, let's go to bantamweight. I'm very excited. Obviously the first fight that comes to my mind, the second I said the word bantamweight, is fucking Song Yadong versus Dominic Cruz. First thing that came to my mind.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I mean, we all know that Song Yadong when he beat Marlon Marias. That was his last fight.
I can see here. Give me a sec. I
Yeah,
forgot.
I mean,
Yes.
sensational
TKO.
performance. Sensational performance, and of course, Uriah Faber trained him how to speak, how to call out Dominic Cruz in English, which is fucking hilarious. And I just super want to see that fight as soon as possible.
Mm.
I also really want to see Cheeto Vera fight again. I think he's scheduled soon.
He is.
Um,
He is. So I don't know who he's fighting though. Honestly, I don't know.
oh,
Is it Rob Font? It might be
he's
Rob Font. Could be
yeah,
Rob
dude,
Font.
oh my god, yeah, fucking A. Cheeto Vera versus Rob Font, April.
That's the next fight.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
That's a crazy fight.
Oh, I am so
Now,
about that.
I do want to talk about my favorite fighter in this division, Sean Sugar O'Malley. Okay, I want to talk about my boy Sugar, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Now, I don't know who he should fight next. He has a fight booked, or he's looking to get a fight booked, but I don't know who he's going to fight next. Now, we could go Pedro Munoz because he's on like a 2-fight losing streak, from what I know. I'm going to make sure that's true. Yes, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. I'm correct. I think Pedro Munoz would be a really good bump in competition for Sean. He's way more well-rounded than any of the other guys that he's fought, besides for Cheeto Vera, I would say. But yeah, I think either Pedro Munoz should be his next fight, or if you want to give him a legend to get him some good clout and some, not that he needs it, but better, I think you should give him Frankie Edgar. Give him Frankie Edgar or give him Pedro Munoz. I think that's what we're looking at next.
Watch it be Frankie Edgar.
I think it will be.
Edgar.
I
Based
think
on
it will be.
because Sean always looks. I mean, I hate to say, I know you're a big fan. I also kind of like him, but Sean will always take the easiest fight that is presented to him because he's looking for the easiest path to the top. He has openly said this too. So I am,
Yeah.
that's
But he also is not going to get paid. He's not going to take big fights unless he gets paid to take big
and
fights. So his contract now is not big.
Frankie Edgar is the type of fight that will get him a lot of good publicity,
Footage
good
also,
footage,
content,
money, etc. Yeah,
everything.
but not be a big risk to him. So I think it's going to be Frankie Edgar versus Sean O'Malley next. If I had to put money on it right now, I say that's the
I think
next
so
matchup
too.
that's going to
Do you
happen.
think Frankie takes the fight?
Yeah, why not? Frankie's
I don't know.
about to retire. He'll take whatever fight he can get.
He doesn't give a fuck, huh? He doesn't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
Frankie's like halfway out the door. Come on.
I mean, do you see him fighting Dominic Cruz next? Is that something that's possible?
No, Dominic Cruz. I'm telling you, this Dominic Cruz Song Yadong's fight is going to happen.
Oh, I think it's Dominic Cruz talking about. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. All right,
yeah, I really want to see Frankie Edgar now. Now that you just mentioned that, I want to see him. Yeah, that got me excited.
Yeah, and all right, let's head over to featherweight.
What a fucking division, bro! Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, now we're getting into like the real good shit. I mean, I just love all of this. Give me all of it. I know Bryce Mitchell. A lot of people were talking about Bryce Mitchell versus Josh Emmett. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's do it. It works for me. I'm down to see it. I want Bryce Mitchell to get as close to the top as possible. Of course, when he gets to the top, I'm going to be so conflicted because then I'm going to have two of my favorite fighters, Max Holloway and Bryce Mitchell. They're going to have to fight each other, and I'm not going to know what to do. I'm going to be in the same situation as Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa. Except I think I might actually like these guys more. So it's gonna be tough for me, but I'm willing to take that pain because I definitely want to see Bryce Mitchell climb. He definitely earns it, and I think they are doing Arnold Allen versus Calvin Kattar. I think that's being put together.
Wow, what a fight! What a fucking that's a banger, bro. That's a fucking banger. Arnold Allen go. I don't know who wins that fight. I can't give you a fucking answer to that. I have no fucking clue.
Well, Calvin Kattar is super durable, but I mean Arnold Allen just with his volume is I think we're looking. I mean, if I just off the top of my head,
he just knocked out Dan Hooker.
I see a repeat this fight, I mean, unless Arnold Allen is really just packing power that I just am not understanding, I see a repeat of the Holloway Cater fight where Arnold just has extremely high output against Cater, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, whatever it is, and wins by decision. That's the way I see it. If you were to ask me right now, but if you want to talk about crazy ass fights, another fight that I've heard is in the pipeline is Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez.
Wow. Dude, I fucking love this division, bro. Holy shit. Yeah, there's way too many good fights. There's so many good fights. It's insane. It's fucking insane.
It's probably my second favorite after the one we're about to discuss.
Oh, of course, dude. I mean, Matt, just say the fucking the blessed.
Yeah, Max I don't understand people. I don't understand this. I keep hearing this shit. People are like, "Oh, the bantamweight division is the most stacked in the UFC." I'm like, guys,
in what fucking world, bro? Where do you live?
Even the UFC said it in one of their promos recently.
They're saying that so they can hype it up, but it's not true. And it's They're just saying it to hype it up.
Don't get me wrong. It's definitely improved recently. It's not even close. Like featherweight, and lightweight.
That lightweight
kick the crap out of bantamweight in terms of excitement.
I agree.
But I mean, does Edson? Oh yeah, Edson Barboza just lost to Bryce Mitchell. But I can watch Edson Barboza fight all day. So.
Oh yeah, he's the man, bro.
What about Edson Wait, has Edson Barboza already fought Giga? They fought, didn't they?
Let me see here. I don't know. Yeah, they did. He beat him. He beat him by KO. Holy shit.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Yeah. I mean, this division's great. Let's move over to my favorite division. I think it's probably your favorite division as well.
I think it is too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. It's my favorite for sure. It's just too stacked.
Yeah, I mean, these lightweights are just amazing. Like, I love all of them so much.
So much.
I mean, there's so many different matches you can make. I know that obviously we have Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje are doing a title fight in May.
And then I don't even know what to think of that.
Islam Makhachev and Beneil Dariush are going to rebook their match and have that. Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson are also fighting on the same card as Gaethje Oliveira.
Bad fight for Ferguson. I just want to make that clear. Bad fight for Ferguson. Very bad.
Yeah, it's so funny. The person that has the most amount of faith in Tony Ferguson right now is Michael Chandler, which is I think is hilarious.
What did you say? Sorry.
The person that has the most amount of faith in Tony Ferguson right now is Michael Chandler.
I don't think he does. I don't know what you mean by that, but.
Because when Chandler was in an interview and he was asked, "Do you think Tony has lost a step?" He's like, "Bro, not at all. Have you seen the 3 guys that Tony lost to? Fucking Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, and Beneil Dariush. These are killers. Like, I think that Tony is still like awesome.
I'm gonna say something now. I think he's trying to hype the fight for himself. I think he's trying to hype the fight for the fans. But I think we all know that we saw little pep in his step lost. In the past couple of fights, the damage he's taken is undeniable.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the only thing that Chandler should watch out for really are the knees. The elbows and the knees. Like,
yeah. Of course, I agree. 100%.
Like, that's really the thing to watch out for. And that could take him out. But as long as Chandler can keep his distance and just move in smart. Chandler needs to fight smarter. I love Michael Chandler, but Chandler needs to fight smarter. Stop taking massive hits.
I think he usually does fight very smart. I mean, this last fight is not a good representation of that. But I think he does. I think his last fight was just for clear entertainment purposes. Just to get.
But against Oliveira too, he made like a few like mistakes that a more careful fighter I don't think would have made.
It's just so good, bro. It's just so good. Like, it's just you can't really say that when someone's fighting Oliveira. Oliveira will catch you with anything he wants.
I want to see Rafael Fiziev fight again soon.
I agree.
What about Fiziev? What about Rafael versus here? Listen to this. How does this sound for you? Rafael Fiziev versus Arman Sarukian.
Oh shit! Yeah, I think Fiziev wants to fight up. I think he deserves to fight up. I can see him fight either Gregor Gillespie, I forgot how to pronounce his name, or I think he might fight RDA. I can see him fighting RDA, right?
That was supposed to happen, but then Fiziev got
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, so they might rebook that RDA versus Fiziev. I'd love to see that. I wanted to see it the first time. So
or Gregor Gillespie. Wow, I didn't realize Gregor's his fucking wow. His fucking record is insane. He's 14-1. Holy shit.
Yeah, but he hasn't fought. I feel like he hasn't fought in forever.
The last time he fought was 1 year ago, 8th of May, 2021. Not that crazy. Not so far off. Fights about once a year, it looks like. Looks like he fights about once a year. He didn't fight in 2020, but he fought in 2021. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to middleweight. We already did welterweight, so let's just move ahead up to the 185ers.
Let's go.
I mean, one of the top fights that I really want to see. I know that Robert Whittaker is fighting Marvin Vettori soon, and they're booking Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira, which is okay. Okay. All right. That's
crazy. Holy shit. You want to see some blood? Yeah. You want to see some blood? Yeah. I guess we're going to see some blood in that fight. That's for sure.
I mean, if both Whittaker and Strickland win their fights, I'd like to see them fight each other. I really want to see that. I'm very curious about that matchup.
Robert Whittaker, Strickland. Interesting. I think Strickland's going to fight Paulo Costa with his crazy-ass tweets.
I wish we could. God, I wish our video. I really wanted to, and I put it in the title too. I wanted to go over Paulo Costa's Twitter, but with the video feed acting as like shitty as it is right now, I don't think. But we'll definitely do that anytime. I definitely want to go over Paulo Costa's Twitter at some point because it is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll bring it up next week if anything.
Yeah, we can bring it up anytime because there's always new memes. This dude just sits down, drinks wine, and like picks memes.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, but I mean that's a good fight to make. I don't think honestly, although I don't know because like Dana said that he was going to make Costa fight at light heavyweight from now on, but Costa doesn't seem to think so. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'd rather see Costa in the light heavyweight division after the
make it a lot more exciting.
Yeah, exactly. That's because that's one of the more boring divisions.
I do want to ask you something, Kai. My boy, my smash brother, Darren Till. Where does he do next? Where does he go from here? Where does he go?
Oh God, that's tough because as we know, Darren Till is a fan favorite.
Yeah, it's huge.
And he's had a bit of a skid lately.
Where does he go from here? I don't even know.
I mean, he's going to have to fight down. I don't think that he can justify a fight up. So it depends. I mean, maybe I heard Chris Weidman is coming back soon. Maybe that's a fight to make.
Nah, I don't think he wants to fight Weidman. Who can he fucking...
Well, Darren Till obviously wants to fight someone that gives him a fucking win, okay? So Chris Weidman, who had his leg basically snapped in half, it's a good choice.
For him to win, but what is the UFC gonna do with that? He can promote that.
He needs to get some spring in his step. Look. If the UFC is going back to the UK later this year, then they're gonna put Darren Till on that card.
100%.
So and it doesn't matter it doesn't matter where you put him or who you put him against. It's Darren Till in the UK. Put him against anyone. So that's why I'm saying like Chris Weidman, Brad Tavares, Nasruddin Imavov. Give him
Brad Tavares. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Give him someone that he has a shot at beating, just to give him a slump buster. Give him a slump buster. Come on, guys. It's Darren Till. Let's have some fucking grace. I cannot believe Kelvin Gastelum fucking went through all this trouble to get a replacement for his fight in 273 this weekend, and then pulled out. I cannot believe that happened.
Yeah, what happened exactly? He got the replacement, and then what happened?
He got the replacement, and then he said that he got an injury, and so he backed out.
That's hard to believe, but okay.
I'm like, come on, man! You're Kelvin Gastelum. You can fight with a broken leg. Are you serious, dude? We don't fight to what? Like, come on, we fight because you're like a wall. We like to watch you fight because you're like a wall. Like, just be there.
It's true. Just show up. Just show up. What do we do? What do we do with Vettori? Also,
he's fighting He's fighting Robert Whittaker.
That's what that's the next fight. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's happening next. That's why I said if Whittaker beats Vettori and Strickland beats Pereira, I want to see them fight. Pereira, I mean, no matter who, although if Pereira beats Strickland, then him fighting Vettori or Whittaker are both very good matchups.
I agree.
Those are very good fights.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of fights.
Who do you think is going to win, Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira?
It's a great question. Okay, I think if Alex Pereira gets hit by Sean Strickland, he's going down. If he hits him clean, if he catches Alex Pereira, I'm not saying it's easy to catch Alex Pereira. Definitely fucking not. Probably one of the hardest things to do in the world, to catch Alex Pereira with a nasty 2 or whatever, or right hand, left hook, or whatever the fuck. But if he catches him, Sean Strickland's got motherfucking power. Motherfucking power. Now, Pereira, of course, has power too, but he's more precision timing type fighter. He's not looking there to bang with you, right? He's a kickboxer. He's looking to hit you and not get hit. Sean Strickland will take a couple punches to get in the pocket with you so he can smash your face and see some blood and then lick it off of his fucking glove because he's a psychopath. Okay? And these are the type of guys you want to see fighting in the UFC because they're psychopaths, but, you can't let them do it out of the ring. At least let them do it in the fucking octagon. The least you can do for them. So, yeah, I think if Sean Strickland catches him, he gets knocked the fuck out. But if Sean Strickland tries to play Alex Pereira's game, that's where he loses. I think Sean Strickland has to make it a dog fight. Don't make it a precision fight. Kickboxer, if kicks up, you're gonna fucking lose. You have to make it a dog fight. You got to get in his fucking face, get him into something that he's not used to. Feint. Try to take him down. Feint. Takedown. Feint. Takedown. Like shit he's not used to. He's used to kickboxing. Don't strike with him, right? Hit him where he doesn't know where he's going to get hit. You know what I mean? Fake him out in a sense. Keep him guessing. That's how Sean Strickland wins that fight. If it goes, he's trying to do tit for tat, Alex Pereira is going to knock his head off. It's too easy for him.
Yeah, we'll see. I agree. It's all about whether or not Sean Strickland is on, because some days he's on, some days he's off.
He's usually fucking on, I think. I've never seen him off.
Against Hermanson, he was kind of off. He was basically it's a weird day when Sean Strickland is point scoring. Yeah, it's a weird day. That was a weird fight against Hermanson, and he even said it. He was like, "Yeah, dude, I was off. I was just playing it. Yeah, I was just playing it really safe because I have a lot of respect for Jack." And it's like, okay, but if Strickland goes against Pereira, he needs to be on. We're not talking point scoring.
I think his coach knows that. Yeah.
If we're talking about a point scoring game, and trust me, this fight will be a fight night main event. It will be 5 rounds. I am 95% sure.
Which is crazy because Alex Pereira is second fight in the UFC? It's fucking insane. Third fight, still crazy. Yeah.
That's what I mean. If Sean Strickland tries to point score with Alex Pereira, he's going to lose 100%.
Yeah, you can't do that.
He has to finish him. It's not
dog fight. It's got to be a fucking dog fight. He's got to try to take him down. You got to do crazy shit.
And of course, I'm super excited to see Izzy fight Jared Cannonier. That's all but confirmed.
That's a new test for him.
I'm very excited for that fight. I can't wait to see it. Let's move over to the next division, light heavyweight. This is one of the less interesting ones to be.
I think the least interesting in the whole UFC, but just my opinion.
Well, for me, I'd put it second. Women's bantamweight, I think, is pretty typically the.
Yeah, I was saying for the men's, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But here, there are some interesting matchups here, though, because Jan Blachowicz versus Alexander Rakic just got remade. That's happening.
Oh, wow.
And of course, we got Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prohaska in May. Singapore.
And who? That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen.
The big question in this division right now is what to do with. There's probably my favorite fighter in the division, Anthony Smith, and he's been talking about this a lot because Anthony Smith is on the Believe You Me podcast with Michael Bisping, which by the way is amazing. You guys can definitely check that out. Anthony Smith, there's 2 fights that are sort of people are talking about for him, either to fight Magomed Ankalaev or to fight Paul Craig. Both of them have called him out. Anthony said
Ankalaev's a worse fight for him. I think Paul Craig is a better fight for him.
Well, Anthony said, he's like, look, I can fight Ankalaev. It'll probably be more of a point scoring thing. I'll have to be more disciplined in the gym. I can probably beat him. I don't see him having much of a ground game, but it won't be fun fight for me. Put me against Paul Craig, that'll be fun as fuck for me. That's what I would.
Banger fight. That would be I think Paul Craig is the one they should go for. Definitely give Paul Craig a chance, and then give Anthony Smith a chance to redeem himself again.
But he doesn't need to redeem. I don't think Anthony Smith needs to redeem himself for anything.
He wants to go up. He wants to go up.
Yeah, but I mean, like redeem implies like I think the last time, if I'm mistaken, the last time Anthony Smith lost was like almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's on a 3-fight. He's on a 3-fight win streak for sure.
He's had 3 amazing finishes. Devin Clark, Jimmy Crute, Ryan Spann. I would love to see him fight Paul Craig. Anthony Smith is not. I mean, like obviously, yeah, he wants a title, but he's not really the kind of guy that's like, oh, I need to be a champion. He's more like I'm trying to feed my family here, and I like to fight. Like he enjoys it. He's a fighter's fighter.
I agree. I guess you're right. I'll take it back.
I would like to see him against Paul Craig. I think Anthony Smith versus Dominic Reyes is also something that's fun. Anthony Smith versus Jamal Hill would really put some spring in my step.
Wow, that's a great fight.
I want to see Jamal Hill fight again as soon as humanly possible with that beautiful.
I love Jamal Hill, dude. I love that guy.
Johnny Walker.
I love that guy.
Fight again as soon as humanly possible. So yeah, I mean, there are this division may not be the most exciting, but it's getting better, and there are matchups that I'm very excited for.
I can see. I think the next fight, when Yuri wins the fucking title, I think Ankalaev is going to get the first shot. Tell me if I'm wrong.
It depends. I think it depends on whether Anthony Smith. It depends on whether Ankalaev is just sitting around, or if he fights Anthony Smith.
I think he's going to wait. I think he's going to wait out for the winner and then just fight the winner.
No, because here I don't think he can do that actually. Because if Jan Blachowicz is fighting Alexander Rakic and he beats that's a number 1 contender fight. It's literally a number 1 contender fight.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
So I mean, and Jan does deserve to get another title. Jan is clear. Considering how long he defended his belt and everything, he does deserve to fight for the title again. Although, look, if Ankalaev wants to try and step in against Jan, or against the winner of Jan Rakic,
I just don't think they're gonna give Jan a title shot right away, even if he wins 1. I think they need him to win 2 because you have Ankalaev in the wing. He's waiting, and he's a fucking monster, bro.
I don't think Ankalaev has really done anything to deserve it. Yes, he wins his fights, but his fights are boring as fuck. He always wins by decision. It's very slow. He has no ground game. It's he's not offering a lot in terms of.
I think if Rakic wins, then they're gonna give him the title shot. But I think if Jan wins, they're not gonna give him the title shot. I just don't think.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's move over to the big boys.
The biggest boys, literally the biggest boys.
The biggest boys. Dude, there's so many fights I want to see here. We talked about this last week, how there's this backup in the division, and we have because Francis is out for 9 months because of his surgery. We got Cyril Gane, Stipe, Taito Ivasa, Curtis Blades, and Tom Aspinall.
I want to say,
and we have to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, I want to say one thing about the main man, Francis Ngannou. I just saw a video of him. He's doing a docu-series on his rehab. That's from his knees, of course, his knee injury, knee surgery. And fuck, dude, it looks so horrible. I feel so bad. It's a good thing, obviously, but that recovery is just fucking brutal, bro. Brutal. He has a full docuseries. You guys want to check it out? I think it's on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. You can check it out there, and you can see his recovery, his rehab, everything is on there. His fucking knees are split open and shit. It's kind of crazy. I saw the stitches and everything. I just saw him walking out of the car, and he can't walk. He's got crutches, of course. It's hard for him.
And he's going to be out for 9 months to a year.
Yeah.